carrying the heavy bucket in the burning sun. Her mouth was dry and her belly growled with hunger. She had not eaten since morning, just a small piece of bread. Not enough for a child, not enough for a girl who did the work of 3 people. "Don't just stand there like a tree, Lena," Marta's voice cut through the air. "Are you deaf now? You think you're the only one who feels tired?" Lena looked down. "I'm sorry, stepmama." "Sorry?" Marta laughed. She walked into the kitchen, her breath smelling of strong wine. "Did your useless mother not teach you manners?" Lena was confused. What had she done wrong now? "You think your life is hard now? I will show you what real hardship looks like. Go and clean the yard. The chickens have made a mess everywhere because you're so lazy." "But stepmama, it's the hottest time of day. Please let me—" A loud slap stopped her words. Lena's face jerked to the side, her cheek burning with pain. "You dare talk back to me? In my own house? You think because your dead mother gave birth to you in this house, you can challenge me?" Lena's eyes filled with tears, but she quickly turned away. She grabbed the old broom made from dry twigs and began sweeping the yard. Her fingers shook. Her arms were weak. Every sweep sent dust into her eyes and nose, but she dared not complain. Her stepmother watched with folded arms, a cruel smile on her lips. As Lena swept, Marta shouted another order. "When you finish cleaning, you'll make bread for my lunch. Make it soft like your brain. If it's hard, you'll eat it yourself while I watch." Lena bit her lip to stop herself from crying. Later, she finished sweeping. Her small body was wet with sweat. Her back hurt. Her hands had blisters. But there was no rest. She dragged herself to the wooden table under the old apple tree. She mixed, kneaded, and baked the dough, her fingers shaking as she worked. When the bread was ready, she brought it to Marta with trembling hands. "Is this what you call food?" Marta mocked, poking the bread with her greasy fingers. "This one is soft because the devil feels sorry for you today. Take it to the back room. When you're done, go wash my clothes. I want them white like snow." Without a word, Lena obeyed. There was no rest in this house for her. No peace. This was her daily life since her father disappeared. The neighbors saw what was happening, but no one was brave enough to challenge Marta. Lena worked from sunrise to sunset and had very little food to eat. That night, after all the work was done and Marta snored loudly in her room, Lena sat alone in the tiny storage room she called her bedroom. There was no bed, just a thin straw mat. She hugged her knees, looking at the small patch of moonlight coming through the cracked window. She began to cry. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Her mind drifted away from her hard life, back to a time when love filled this house, back when her mother was alive. She could almost hear her mother's laugh, sweet and musical like a gentle stream. Mother's hands were always busy, but never too busy to stroke Lena's hair or hold her face after a day of play. "My beautiful Lena, the jewel of my heart," her mother would say, kissing her forehead softly. "One day you will grow into a woman brighter than the morning sun, but until then, let me carry your worries." Those were the days when their homes smelled of fresh soup, when her father's big laugh would fill the yard as he came back from the fields, lifting Lena high into the air. In the evenings they would all sit under the apple tree. Her mother would tell stories of clever foxes and wise ravens. Her father would nod along, pretending to be surprised at every twist just to make them laugh. But then everything changed. Her mother became very sick and died, leaving her and her father heartbroken. Lena was only 7 when her mother passed. Lena and her father mourned for 1 year. Then her father, trying to heal his pain, married another woman to fill the empty space. Marta was kind at first, but after she became pregnant and had her son, things changed. She began to mistreat Lena, making her do work far beyond her age. Things got worse when her father, who was a successful farmer, went on a trip and never returned. Marta took over the farm, hiring people to work on it. She became wealthy and proud. She turned Lena into her slave, making her do all the house chores, yet giving her very little food, while she spoiled her own son, Philip. "I miss you, Mama," she whispered into the night through her tears. "I'm trying to be strong, like you said, but it hurts every day. It hurts." The wind sighed through the crack in the wall, as if the night itself cried with her. Holding tightly the small, faded cloth her mother had sewn for her, Lena closed her eyes and fell asleep. The first light of dawn had barely touched the sky when her stepmother burst into the room and slapped her awake. Lena's eyes opened to see Marta's face twisted in anger. "Lazy child, still sleeping like a pig when there is work to be done." Marta's voice filled the small room, louder than any rooster's crow. "Do you think this house is a place where you can sleep until the sun is high in the sky?" Lena's heart raced as she scrambled to sit up. Her face throbbed where Marta's hand had struck. Her ear rang from the impact. "I'm sorry, stepmama, I didn't—" Marta hit her a second time, not waiting for her to finish. "Keep your useless sorry to yourself. When will you learn that you are not a queen in this house? You are nobody, nothing but a burden. Get up now and go sweep the yard. After that, you will go to the garden and pull the weeds. I want to see my face in that soil when you're done," Marta barked. Lena slowly got to her feet, her thin legs shaking. She knew better than to show weakness, but her body betrayed her. "Useless thing, just like her mother," Marta muttered, turning to storm out of the room, her skirts swaying angrily. Wiping the tears from her face, Lena stepped out of the tiny room. She grabbed the broom, her palms sore from yesterday's work, and began sweeping the yard with slow, careful strokes. When the yard was clean, Lena went into the garden and began to pull weeds. She worked until noon, her stomach twisted with hunger, but no one called her for breakfast. In Marta's eyes, she did not deserve it. Sweat soaked her body. Her hands were blistered and cracked. Yet she worked because there was no choice. By the time she returned to the yard, dirt clinging to her skin, Marta was waiting with a crooked smile. "Ah, my little slave returns. Did you enjoy yourself in the garden? I hope the ants didn't bite you too much," she mocked. She told Lena to go eat the leftover bread, which was barely enough to feed her 5-year-old stepbrother. Lena didn't bother to warm the food. She ate it hungrily, after which her suffering continued. The next day, as the burning sun hung directly above the village of Solvan, Marta sent Lena to the lake again. "Take that bucket and go to the lake now," Marta ordered, her face showing the same cruelty that had become her daily mask. This was the 4th time in 2 weeks that Marta had sent her to the lake at the forbidden hour. The same cursed hour when no one in their right mind dared approach the waters. But Marta did not care. Lena had fetched water from the lake again and again, trembling with each step, her heart pounding like a drum. Every time she dipped her bucket into the lake, she whispered apologies to the unseen spirit. "I don't mean to make you angry. It's not my fault. Please forgive me." And every time she would walk back home, her feet unsteady, expecting the worst. But nothing happened. On this day, as she approached the lake once more, the weight of her suffering became too much to bear. Lena stood at the lake's edge, staring at her trembling reflection on the rippling surface. The bucket sat untouched by her side. For the first time, she could not bring herself to fetch the water. She was exhausted. She sank to the ground and burst into tears. "Why me?" she wailed. "What did I do to deserve this life? Why did you take my mother and leave me to suffer like this? Dear Lake Spirit, if you're here, please, please hear me. I am tired." Her cries filled the empty space around her, raw and desperate. Then, through her tears, she heard her name. Lena. The voice was soft. Lena was terrified. Slowly, she lifted her tear-streaked face and looked toward the lake. There, emerging gracefully from the water, was a figure unlike any she had ever seen. A girl about her age. She had long golden hair and her skin glowed with a gentle light. She smiled at Lena warmly and began to speak. "I have seen you cry many times, but today you moved me to action. My name is Naya. I am the daughter of Silva, the lake mother. But I'm also just a girl like you. Do not be afraid, for I will not hurt you." Lena stared at her in disbelief. "Aren't you angry that I keep disturbing your lake?" "No," Naya giggled. "You come with sadness, not disrespect. The lake feels your pain, so does my mother. But mother says some pains are not for the lake to fix. Still, I want to be your friend. But it must be a secret. Not everyone would understand. Whenever you come here, sing this song." Naya leaned forward and began to hum a sweet, haunting melody. Lena listened, her heart filling with a strange warmth. Sing this when you are sad, or when you are here and want me to come out. We can talk. We can play. You won't be alone." Tears gathered in Lena's eyes again, but this time they were not from sorrow. "Thank you, Naya." Naya's eyes twinkled as she moved her arms, sending gentle ripples across the water. "I'll be here waiting for your song." And with that she dove gracefully into the lake, her laughter echoing as she disappeared beneath the glistening surface. Lena sat still, staring at the spot where her new friend had vanished. The weight on her chest felt lighter. The lake felt safe to her for the first time. Slowly she filled her bucket. As she walked back to the village, she softly hummed Naya's song, her voice blending with the lake's gentle sounds. For the first time in a long time, her steps felt less heavy. From that day, everything changed for Lena. Her wicked stepmother continued to send her to the lake at the forbidden hour of the day, hoping that something bad would happen to her. With every visit, Lena would sit by the edge, lower her bucket gently, and sing the song her friend had taught her. The lake would shimmer in response, and from its depths, Naya would emerge, her face bright with joy. Sometimes they simply talked. Naya told Lena stories of the lake, tales of the ancient spirits, of the fish that sang under the full moon, of turtles that could speak, and frogs that played hide and seek. Lena, in return, shared her own stories, simple things, memories of her mother, of how she used to climb the apple tree to pick fruit, of how her father once carved her a tiny wooden flute. For those moments she was no longer the poor girl with a wicked stepmother. She was just Lena, a girl with a special friend. And oh, how they laughed. The more they met, the more Lena's heart healed, but life outside the lake remained harsh. Marta's cruelty did not lessen. She noticed how Lena no longer returned from the lake looking defeated. This irritated her deeply. "Maybe you have found a lover in that lake," Marta sneered one afternoon. "Don't worry, you'll soon see what good it brings you." But Lena said nothing. She didn't need to explain herself. She had her secret, and her secret made her stronger. She had grown used to her secret world with Naya. Their meetings were no longer filled with tears, but with joy. They sang, they played, they shared dreams. Then one afternoon, when Lena arrived and sang their song, the lake remained still for longer than usual. For a moment, fear gripped her heart. Had Naya abandoned her? Then slowly the water rippled. Naya emerged, but she did not smile like she used to. Her beautiful face was sad, her bright eyes clouded with sorrow. Her golden hair did not shine with its usual light. Her movements were slow beneath the surface. Lena's heart sank. "What's wrong?" she asked softly, kneeling by the edge. "Naya, why are you sad?" For a moment, Naya did not speak. The lake whispered around her as if mourning with her. "Lena," she began slowly, "today is the last time we will see each other." The words hit Lena like a lightning strike. No, don't say that," she stammered, her throat tightening. "Why? Have I done something wrong?" Naya's lips curved into a sad smile. "No, my dearest friend, you've done nothing wrong. This is simply the way of my people. I am getting married. A male water spirit from another lake far from here has chosen me. My mother has given her blessing. Soon I will leave these waters and belong to another." Lena's heart broke. Her fingers dug into the soft earth. But what about us? Our songs, our stories. You can't leave me, Naya. You're my only friend. "I know, Lena," Naya said, her own voice shaking. "Believe me, this hurts me too, but such is the life of a lake daughter. Our paths are written in the currents before we are even born." Lena felt a tear slip down her cheek. "It's not fair. Why must the things I love always be taken from me?" Naya reached out, her fingers brushing Lena's hand. The touch was cool, soothing, like the lake itself. "I cannot stay, but I want to leave you something. A gift, a part of me, so you will never be alone. Close your eyes and stretch out your hands." Lena obeyed without a word. Naya stretched her hand and passed a golden light to Lena. Then she asked her to open her eyes. "You have just received the power to heal wounds of the body and of the heart. You will be able to heal all kinds of sicknesses. Whenever someone is in pain, your touch will bring comfort. And I will never forget you, Lena. The girl who sang to the lake. The girl who made even a water spirit believe in friendship. For a long moment they sat in silence, staring at each other, remembering every detail. Then, slowly, Naya began to sink back into the lake. "Goodbye, my friend." "Goodbye, Naya," Lena replied sadly. As the last ripple faded, she sat by the lake and began to cry. "I will miss you, my dear friend," she whispered gently. After a while, she wiped her tears, stood tall, and began her walk back home. 3 days later, Lena was in the market running an errand for her stepmother when a loud, desperate cry tore through the noise of market life. "Somebody help me! My baby! He's not breathing!" Lena's heart jumped. She turned quickly toward the sound. At the corner, beneath a rickety stall, a woman was holding a small boy in her arms. The child's body was limp, his lips turning a frightening blue. The mother's cries were heartbreaking. "Please, somebody help me!" The village healer had traveled to the next town. Lena's feet moved before her mind could catch up. She dropped her basket and rushed to the woman's side. "Move back, Mama," she said gently, though her hands trembled. With the entire market watching, Lena bent over the boy. His tiny chest was frighteningly still. She placed her palm gently on the boy's chest, closed her eyes, and softly began to hum. Within seconds, the boy's body jerked. He coughed. A soft, shallow breath filled his lungs. "He's breathing." "My child is breathing," the mother screamed, holding her boy to her chest as fresh tears of relief flowed. A whisper rippled through the crowd. "Did you see what she did?" "It was Lena. She touched him and he came back." But Lena didn't bask in the attention. She simply smiled at the grateful mother, picked up her basket, and hurried away. Yet news spreads faster than wildfire. 2 days later, another cry for help rang through the village. A young girl had fallen from an apple tree, landing badly. Her arm was twisted and swollen. The villagers gathered, helpless. Again, Lena found herself at the center. Without fear, she knelt beside the sobbing girl, placed her hands on her injured arm, and whispered some words. Before the astonished eyes of the villagers, the swelling began to go down. The twisted arm straightened. From that day, Lena's name began to carry weight. She healed some other people from one sickness or another, and she soon became very popular in the village. Despite the popularity, Lena's heart remained humble. She healed not for fame, but because she remembered pain and what it felt like to have no one to help. Her stepmother became more careful with how she treated her, knowing that the villagers now had their eyes on her. One evening, about 3 months after Lena received the healing powers, a figure appeared at the edge of the village path. Dusty, worn, yet familiar. It was Thomas, Lena's father. Despite how tired he looked, Lena recognized him immediately. "Papa!" she shouted. The man dropped his travel bag as Lena ran toward him. He caught her, holding her tightly, burying his face in her hair as his shoulders shook. Their tears flowed freely as Lena clung to him, trembling with emotion. Her father gently pulled back, his eyes glistening with unshed tears, but he didn't say a word. Moments later, Marta returned from the farm with her son, where she had gone to check the work of her laborers. She was shocked to see her husband. She pretended to welcome him warmly. Then she began to ask him questions about what happened and why he didn't return all these years. Tomas could only respond with signs but couldn't speak. It soon became clear to Lena and Marta that Tomas had returned mute. His ears heard every word, his eyes followed every conversation, but his lips could form none. No sound escaped him, not even a whisper. Lena, driven by love and desperation, had tried to heal him. She placed her hands gently on his throat. She even pleaded with Naya in whispered prayers. But this time her gift remained still. The man who had given her life remained locked in silence. Yet Thomas's spirit was far from broken. With quiet determination, he reclaimed his farmlands from his wife, walking its familiar paths, overseeing the workers with firm gestures. He communicated with them through signs, through expressions, through the quiet authority of a man who had seen much and survived more. To the villagers' surprise, the farm flourished even more under his command. Lena began to glow again, and Marta felt lost, always indoors, clinging to her son. She decided to apologize to Lena. She approached her one evening. "I have wronged you, Lena. I have wronged your mother's memory. I have wronged this village. I know I don't deserve mercy, but please forgive me. I bear no grudge against you, especially because it was your meanness that led me to my strength. Every tear you caused, every burden you placed on me, pushed me closer to my special healing powers. If not for your cruelty, I would never have found my healing gift, so thank you." With that, Lena got up and walked away. Something within her told her that Marta wasn't truly sorry. Lena continued to heal the sick, even after the village healer returned. Whispers got to the king, and he invited her to the palace alongside her father. By the time they arrived at the king's palace, the entire council was gathered, and in their midst sat the village healer, Valen. King Darius welcomed them all and praised Lena for using her healing powers to help the people, especially when the village healer was unavoidably absent. Lena lowered her gaze respectfully. The king continued, "We are a people of tradition. Our healer, Valen, has served this land with wisdom and skill for many seasons, but even a river grows richer when a new stream joins it." Valen smiled, his eyes kind. "I have heard of you, child. Many feared I would be threatened by your gift. But why should I fear the rain when it only helps my crops grow? You are not a rival. You are a blessing. I would be honored to work alongside you." The king nodded, satisfied. "From this day, Lena and Valen shall lead Solvan's healing together. To this end, a grand healing house will be built, a place where all who suffer will find help, regardless of birth or status." Then, turning to Thomas, the king said, "Thomas, you return to us from darkness. Though the gods have chosen silence for your tongue, yet your eyes speak more than words. Your farm thrives again under your hand. Your daughter's honor restores your name." Then the king rose from his seat, his staff striking the marble floor. "Let it be known across Solvan and beyond, Lena, daughter of Thomas, is henceforth recognized as the guardian of health, protector of the weak, and symbol of hope. Her father, Thomas, remains a respected elder whose legacy lives on." In the weeks that followed, the healing house rose near the village square, larger and more beautiful than any had imagined. Lena worked alongside the healer, blending ancient herb knowledge with her mysterious gift of touch. Lena and Valen tried to restore her father's speaking ability, to no avail, so they let him be. "It must be for a reason," she murmured sadly. His silence remained a mystery untouched by her gift. She had made peace with it. And so, from the ashes of pain, Lena rose, not as a queen, not as a warrior, but as a healer. Her kindness triumphed where cruelty failed. Her strength was not in loud words, but in quiet resilience. Though her father's voice remained lost, his presence, like hers, spoke louder than any words could. Will Lena's gift one day unlock her father's voice, or does fate have more in store for the healer of Solvan? Only time will tell. This is not the end, but the beginning of a greater story. Thank you for watching. If you would love to see part 2 of Lena's journey, let us know in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more heart-touching stories like this.